Well, hello and welcome back. Um, we're doing a special on the pilot for the Kings of Napa. We're going to welcome our special guest, Alex W. Leith.
Hey, Aubrey, what's happening?
Hey, what's happening with you? Everything okay?
I'm doing great. We got something new to cover. What's going on?
I know. I'm so excited. I really like this show. It's the first pilot episode, but I saw a little bit of the coming attractions a couple of weeks ago at the end of the Love and Marriage in Huntsville reunion.
Right,
Right. So I don't know if you caught that or not, but it was really exciting. I really liked it. I thought it looks like it's going to be a good show. It's set in the Napa Valley. A very wealthy black family, right?
right.
And it looks like it's going to be a really good show. It's a lot of intrigue and excitement going on.
Well, and I love to see black affluence on television. Wealthy blacks, rich blacks. Because we all have different black backgrounds. I was getting ready to say we all have different black rounds, but that's probably true too. All right, I might have
Right.
I might have coined the phrase there. Don't steal it.
I won't. I won't.
But
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
it's like something you said once before. You said you talked to somebody and you said to them, "My black isn't your black," and I think that's very powerful because everybody, for some reason, people that are not black think we all grew up the same. We all come from the same neighborhoods. We all did the same things. We ate the same foods, and that's just not true. And I think shows like this kind of prove that.
Right. I agree with you. I think it's nice too to see such opulence. Like the show opened up and the two cousins, so that's August and her cousin Bridget, and I guess a mutual friend of theirs. They were sitting at a very upscale restaurant having wine and eating lunch or dinner. And the waiter was very surprised to find out that August, helps run uh, Kings of Napa Valley because that's a very popular wine in their region. So he was very impressed. So that was nice to see too, like just seeing them out having a good time, not having to worry about their bills, not having to worry about anything, just enjoying life, enjoying their leisure time away from work.
Right, exactly, and enjoying their leisure time in an elite type way. You know, so that's the good thing. Going to the best, the finest restaurants, having the finest of foods, the finest of staffs, the finest of scenery and decor. You know, things like that. So I like seeing stuff like that.
I like the way you say that, having the finest.
Yep, having the finance, exactly. So I like that. I mean, where I come from, I come from, I was dirt poor growing up, and at this particular age stage in my life, I love to find the things in life. So many times I get to find the things in life, and I don't owe anybody any excuses why I got it, no explanations, because you don't know where I came from. You know what I mean?
Right, that's right. And these guys, I mean, it seems like they've worked hard. Their father's a physician and he's invested his money well. So as we continue on through the show, we see August who's driving, and she makes a call to her brothers to let them know that she has another great idea. And apparently August is over at the Kings of Napa. She's also the marketing director, right? And so we see her kind of setting things up, and then she even talks to their mom, and the mom kind of says, "Well, we don't really do business at dinner, but I will let you talk about it with all the family during dessert time, okay?" So they agree. They come to that compromise and that agreement, right?
Right,
And
right,
so yeah, so then we see what I like. So as she's arriving home and she goes out back patio to check with her father, he seems to be surveying the vineyard. He seems to be surveying it, and he's having his cigar, and he's just relaxing, just so laid back. And what did you think of that scene when you saw
Well,
him, you know?
well, I think they're just establishing who the patriarch is of the family.
Mhm.
Um, the big cigar, that's symbolic of affluent.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
affluent.
I thought for a minute you were gonna say it was symbolic of, maybe like a phallic symbol, but okay, never mind. My mind's in
Your
the gutter.
mind out the gutter, woman. Get it out the gutter.
I was trying to figure out what is it symbolic of, but you're right though. You're right. When you think of big fat cigars, you do probably more or less think of men with money. You think of men with
Yeah,
money,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Sitting
Yeah.
behind big desks, smoking cigars, sitting in their helicopter on the yacht, smoking cigars. So you usually think
Mhm.
that it usually goes together. You know what I mean? And
Right.
and and
Right.
and I think too when they were showing, some of the wonderful cinematography, because there's a lot of wonderful cinematography.
Oh,
Um,
yes,
in
yes. Thank you for
it.
bringing that up because that was one of the first things I meant to mention. Exactly. The cinematography was it was so lush. Everything was just so lush and beautiful and so saturated with color.
Right. And not surprising, it's Ava DuVernay, so I'm not surprised that it was shot well, that it looks wonderful.
I
Um,
don't know if this one is this one Ava? I don't think so. I think I saw another lady who's handling this one, I thought. But I do see where it's the executive producer is Oprah Winfrey. I did see
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's Ava DuVernay, but we'll see. I think
Okay.
I think it's her though.
We'll
Um,
double check for the next broadcast so we'll know. Yeah.
yeah, but
Okay.
either way, the cinematography was beautiful. And
Mhm.
yeah, and the father sitting there, they're establishing the fact that this is the patriarch, he runs things, and the children pretty much adore him. And that's the part I
Yeah.
like too. The children adore him, and they may bicker a little bit or whatever, and siblings do that, but they adore their father.
Right, 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 right. Reginald James King is definitely the patriarch of that family, and he seems to have everybody, like you said, that everybody respects and adores him, including his very beautiful wife, Vanessa King. Vanessa King, we find out, apparently had a career in television. She doesn't really say exactly what, but I'm kind of thinking maybe she was a journalist, a TV journalist, broadcast journalist, but it could have been something else. But she's definitely very, very beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You talking about the character that played the wife, Vanessa, right?
Right, right, right. I'm
Yes,
talking about right,
actually played
Vanessa
the wife.
King, the wife. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And so we see them sitting down having dinner and they're talking and they're discussing the idea that the daughter August has come up with, which is basically to try out maybe making a dessert wine because she says that she sees that as the future of where wines are going. And the eldest brother, um, let's see, that's Dana, the eldest brother, Dana, who's married to Rose. He kind of says, well, no, I'm the CFO, and I don't think that's a good idea. We'd be squandering our money, so forth and so on. And they kind of start to argue back and forth across the dinner table. And then
Right.
their father stands up and says, well, look, I've had enough of you guys. You're always bickering and arguing and just going on and on. This is no place to do this. And the next thing we know, he collapses. The father
Yeah,
collapses.
yeah, and let me just say this as a storyteller, as a
Okay.
filmmaker, as a storyteller and a filmmaker, um, a lot of this was predictable. Um, I knew something would happen to the father. Um, we saw this in Queen Sugar. They did the same thing in Queen Sugar. Um, the father, who was the patriarch in the first episode, passing away, things like that. Because once the father passes away in a storyline, he left a lot of garbage behind to clean up that nobody knew about. So I already saw that coming. You know, secrets unfolding, things coming out that no one would have known had he stayed alive. You know,
Right.
because
Yeah.
we all have secrets, skeletons in our closet, things of that nature.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised about it whatsoever. I seen that storyline coming.
Okay, okay, yeah. So right, so we see him, and then of course we have to we open back up there at the homegoing service, and his one and only daughter, August, gives a very touching tribute, and she says that her father was just a man of character, of habit. He loved jazz, and he was just a good overall father, and they're really gonna miss him. And we see them go on to the repast where everybody is celebrating, his life. And the next scene we're in, they're at, the reading of the will, right?
Hmm.
And so the reading of the will, it gets a little interesting because now the patriarch, as you call him, the patriarch Reginald King has really left everybody pretty much in a better situation. He's given everybody a hefty raise. He's allowed them all to keep their positions, but when it comes to the head role of president, which he occupied while he was alive, now it's being passed down to everybody thought it was going to be his eldest child, the son Dana, but it's being passed on to August, the middle child, the
Right,
daughter.
right, right. And
Right.
also just to dial back for a second, the director is someone named Matthew A. Cherry. Matthew A. Cherry
Okay.
um, is the director and the creator of that.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think it was Ava. I didn't know who it was exactly, but thank you for finding that out. And so
Right.
what did you think about that they're now well, we see what happens is, so really more to the point, we see Melanie. We see Aunt Melanie comes in because she's traveled across the world. She's a doctor, and she's traveled across the world, and she's come back, and she's missed a couple of planes, and she wants to talk to her sister. She wants to talk to her sister, and she
I'm gonna
wants to
tell you why
find
I'm
out.
laughing in a minute. I'm gonna tell you why I'm laughing in a minute when you're saying this.
She wants to talk to her sister privately, but her sister, um, just says, "No, we're all family. Go ahead and say what you have to say." And this is the scene during the reading of the will, during the interruption of the reading of the will. The Melanie, she now says, "Well, by the way, before you settle all your accounts, your husband actually owes me $10 million. Woo!
Mm,
So,
yeah,
all right,
that's
but
a,
go ahead. You said you were going to tell me something. I don't know what it was.
I mean, I'm wondering. That's a
Hello.
lot of money. That's a lot of money. Where she get $10 million? I'm wondering that for one. But the other thing
She
is
said
that
something about a settlement. She said she had a pharmaceutical settlement. She mentions that, so I don't know. Maybe whatever that was. But yeah,
because if you know somebody lends you or gives you $10 million, it's not their last. You know,
you
so
would think
yeah,
not, but
yeah.
she's saying it is.
Oh, she no, she's saying she wanted back. You know what I mean? That she
Yeah,
needed.
but she later
Oh,
she later says in the scene, or shortly thereafter, she says at the end of that scene when she's outside, she tells her daughter, "That's all the money that we have." Hey guys,
oh,
thank you so much for being here. If you just like this video, I'd really appreciate that. Please and thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, so she's saying that's what she's saying, and well, because let's move on. So the next thing after
No,
that, so
no.
this
Let,
may be
let me let me what?
okay, go ahead, go ahead. Because
No.
I wanted to. There's a reason why I'm trying to get to this. There's a reason why we find out. There's something else that she has to share with her sister Vanessa, and when again once again she wants to say it privately, then she just blurts it out that the reason why there's all this secrecy is that that's his daughter, and she points over to her daughter, who is also the niece. So now we find out that the cousin Bridget is now also their cousin and also their sister. And I was going to say maybe that kind of helps explain why she would lend so much money to this man. Probably she was in love with him.
Yeah, they also alluded to the fact that it wasn't a one-time thing; it was an ongoing affair over the years, which that should be common sense that it didn't just happen once. but for some reason the wife wanted to know how many times, and that's the worst question you can ask a mistress. You know, but I knew when Melanie came to talk to Vanessa and wanted to talk to her in private. As a
Right.
storyteller, I already knew what the deal was as a storyteller. So the $10 million I didn't guess, but I was already guessing an affair, a child. You know, I was going over all kind of stuff in my head when she was
Right,
trying to.
but
Yeah.
did you ever think? I'm sorry for interrupting you, but did you ever think that it was going to be the niece while you were looking at her? Did you ever think that it was going to be the niece though? That's the thing. That's the curveball. I think.
But here's the thing, Aubrey. Unfortunately, a lot of affluent, wealthy men have access to all kind of women, including their wives' sisters. See, this has happened many, many times. Okay, but
Now,
you
come
know,
on now. You know what? You throwing a curve in the story because apparently they were studying. So we got to assume that I'm assuming that they were in college. This was over 30 years ago. These people appear to be in their 50s. So we gotta kind of do the math and say these people were in college. So he may not have been wealthy back then.
no, no. What I'm saying, okay, it started in college, but once he
Okay.
married Vanessa, it continued. You see,
Yes.
and
Sadly.
that's the kind of clarity Vanessa wanted at the end. She wanted to know how many times did it continue when I went to Jamaica? Did it continue when I went to the grocery store? What were y'all doing? This so that affair was ongoing. It wasn't a one time college thing,
I get
and
that. I get that. Yeah.
and the husband was in love with the woman. You don't have an affair with somebody that long and not love them. That's not even possible.
You don't think so?
No, there has to be. Think about it. You have an affair with somebody for what, 10 or 15 years or so, maybe even 20 years or so, and you got all this time you spend together. You're laying in bed, you're having conversations, you're eating together, you're watching pro. You start to fall in love with a person. You get attached to a person. You cannot feel nothing because human beings, we're feeling beings. We have feelings. So at some point, just by virtue of time spent, you fall in love with a person.
Mm. Okay. 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 I mean, I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to deny that's very likely what happened. Like you said, I mean, clearly it was more than just sex, right?
Yep.
I mean, because I guess my thing is as a woman, I'm trying to figure out how did he think that he was not going to get caught? I mean, out of all the people, you could have somebody outside that doesn't know your wife, doesn't know where you live, but this woman at any given time, she could have had one drink too many and could have said, "Hey, sis, you know what? I know I never told you this, but sis, and she could have been a little sloppy and drunk and said some things, So
But you
I
talking
just think
about
that's
he could
crazy.
have he could have had anybody he want. Why her? Why did Bill Clinton choose Monica Lewinsky? You know why? Convenience. She's right outside the door. She's right down the hall. Whoever we have most of the access to are the ones we're more than likely to have an affair with. Look, Arnold Schwarzenegger had an affair with his maid. He was married to Maria Shriver. Why? Because the maid is always there. Okay,
Right. Well,
so
that's true. Yeah, and that's crazy because that kid, their son looks exactly like him. He looks more like him than to me than the other kids do.
right, it's all about convenience. Who I have, because when you got a real busy man like a president or something like that, they're very busy. They're running corporations. They're
I
running
wish you
companies.
would use some other examples besides presidents, but okay, there are other people
Well,
that are
listen.
busy in the world.
Well, uh,
There are other people.
well,
No, seriously. There's captains of industries that are just as
you
busy, if
cut me
not.
off.
Oh,
You cut me
okay.
off.
All right.
I was
All
naming
right.
other people. I said,
My
I said,
apologies.
I said presidents. Then I went on to say heads of corporations, like you said, captains of industry. There's all kind of successful, wealthy men who have affairs of convenience. You know,
Mm.
the person is just there, and like one drink too many, or the marriage is having problems, and whoever's closest to you, they're the ones that's going to get it.
Oh my goodness, they're the ones that are gonna get it. Oh
Yep.
Lord. Oh, that just sounds so chauvinistic.
I mean, look, women do it too. Women who,
Uh,
yeah, no, don't cut me off. Now you want to cut me
I
off.
know. Okay, go ahead. I'm not cutting you off.
So who do most of these affluent women who husbands are neglecting them or whatever? Who are they having affairs with? The pool guy, the guy doing the lawn work, you know,
Oh, good
all
grief.
convenience.
Well,
Okay,
yeah. If it's that, I mean, if somebody's going to be with the pool guy or the, I don't know, the plumber, I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I
yeah,
think
the plumber,
I might
he,
pick
he gonna
somebody
come.
else, but okay.
The plumber gonna come by and lay some pipe, and you know it.
Anyway, anywho, moving on. So we get to uh uh August, her ex fiance that they didn't get married, or they were close, or they were seriously dating, and he went on to finish law school and marry somebody else. She's been getting all these calls from him, and finally she decides to return his call to find out that he's actually representing her aunt Melanie in this lawsuit against them to recoup her $10 million. And so she goes and meets with him, and he is ooh, wow, he is an extremely handsome young man. And
Right.
yeah, they seem to have a little bit of chemistry. And then we go on to find out in the next scene that the aunt, so I'm not sure, did you catch the aunt's so Reginald, the patriarch, his sister. Oh, I think that's Yvette.
Mm.
Yvette, apparently, we have a scene where she meets up with Melanie, with Aunt Melanie, and they're talking. So we find out that actually, Reginald's sister Yvette, she knew all along that this was his child, and that they were having an affair. So she's kind of tied into this, and she says she's Switzerland. She really wants no parts of it. And Melanie says, "Well, you're all in it, and you better stick by me, because if you don't, I'm going to let my sister know that you knew all along and you kept it from her." So,
Yeah,
that,
I don't particularly like the way that the wife is handling this. I understand that she's hurt that your husband just died of many, many years. They built this business together. She's finding out all these secrets and everything like that. But she's not handling it the way I think she should be handling it. Like for instance, the niece who is now a sibling of her children, Bridget, the love child, right? The illegitimate child, whatever you want to call her, right? Now,
yeah.
now she's the one,
Bridget. I was just calling Bridget,
Bridget.
and a half sister. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Bridget is the one. She does all the grape harvesting. She's a master of the grape harvesting. Okay, so but now the
Right,
mother wants
right. Yeah, she has
the,
a very, very specialized skill. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
right. She does, and the mother wants to fire her and get rid of her and so forth. Who you going to bring in with that kind of knowledge? Because you and your feelings, business still has to be run. This is not her fault what your husband did. So I don't. She's
Right. She
not
wasn't
thinking
even
clearly
there.
about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right. I
and,
agree.
and then and then her wanting all these details, like how many times. It don't matter if it was once, twice, or 100 times. He cheated and had a child. It don't matter how many times it was. And to think that his sister don't know, family usually know because family cover your behind. They know you wrong. They disagree with it, but they'll cover you. I've seen it my whole life.
Right, right, right. I mean, yeah, you gotta, yeah, that's a very good point. That's a really good point, because I hadn't thought about that. But you're right. I mean, that's his sister. She's gonna know. She's gonna be aware that these things are going on. She's gonna be aware. She was aware that that was her niece, basically. That Bridget is her niece.
Right,
So yeah, I think, well, I can only put myself, so there's a lot going on, to be fair to to Vanessa, the wife, the widow. There's a lot going on, because, not only does she have to accept that her husband, who died suddenly, I mean, it wasn't like he was sick, laid up with some terminal illness, he died suddenly. And now she's got to not only deal with grieving that. So I think what happens, I think sometimes in grief, what happens is you also have a lot of built up anger and frustration. And so I think that maybe what has happened is she's found a scapegoat to put that anger and put that energy in, whereas otherwise she wouldn't have known what to do with it. So now she's going to be not only mad at her sister, which I think rightfully so at her sister for cheating with her husband all those years, but she's also mad at the product of that who had really nothing, no say so in it, which is Bridget. You're right. Bridget had no say so. And then, more to your point, business is business. And Bridget is like one of the few people that probably specializes in that, the taking care of the grapes and the nurturing of the grapes and all the details to that. So,
Yeah,
um,
and the father had mentioned earlier in the story that he had defeated COVID, so he feels bionic. Okay,
r-
so you know him getting over COVID and all this, we get a
okay,
false sense of.
we won't keep using that word here because I think there's something on YouTube about that. But yeah, okay,
Oh,
but yeah, a virus, yes, right.
the virus, whatever. He had survived it, so we get a false sense of our immortality. With that, we become like immortal. I beat this great thing, so now I'm bionic. He even said, "I feel bionic" or whatever.
Right, yeah, he
You
did. He
know,
did say
but
that.
but
Yeah.
but then I guess the heart attack took him down, or whatever happened, took him down. So it can happen at any moment. But again, like I said, the storyline, a lot of it was predictability. Um, and again, maybe I'm at a disadvantage. I'm a storyteller. I'm a filmmaker. So as soon as I see certain things, I'm saying, okay, I know where they're going. I hope they don't go there. Shock me with something. But then
Right,
when it,
right. Well, you
you
have
know,
to kind of have a sip of wine and kind of relax there, Alex, because we know you're a filmmaker, but I don't know. I mean, like there's some things everybody has a profession, and sometimes you just have to like, uh, just go with it. You
no,
just
I
have to
agree.
go with it. Let it go and see where it goes. And then I think also here's the thing, what I think, I'm not a filmmaker, but I do understand story making and storytelling. I think though the other thing is it's a pilot. It's the pilot. So I imagine it'll continue to get better and we'll have surprises down the road. But they had to set this up. They had to set it up some way. So I mean, I think to me in the beginning, you're right. I kind of saw the father passing away without even seeing, without even seeing it, I knew he was gonna something was gonna happen to him, right?
Right. And look, Kamisha says, I feel like it's a Greenleaf rerun. And
Hey, Kamisha, how you doing? Good to
and
see
you know
you.
what? Again, similar, but Greenleaf characters, they didn't have this much money. Um, but they were
Mm-mm. No,
also
they
affluent.
didn't.
They
They
were
were
well to do. They were well to do, but they
wealthy
didn't.
church family. Yeah, founders
Right.
of a church. Yeah, one of those
But
mega churches.
they didn't have vineyard money. you know. So yeah, but again, it's just when somebody harboring secrets, and like a lot of us harbor these secrets and got skeletons. When people pass away and all this stuff starts to unfold, you come to find out they don't left a mess, and
Right.
the father has left a mess right up until Aubrey. And I'm pretty sure you got this too. The last scene, the daughter receives a call with some more mess. Okay, he owes somebody else money. You ain't see that part?
Right. Yeah, of course I did. Can I react? Can I respond to what you're asking me? Yes, I saw that. Yeah, I thought that was a little weird because like who is that? Who is that person calling and like she's going to meet somebody out somewhere with money? Yeah, that almost made me think of like is this some kind of is this some kind of like mob? Is the mob involved in this? Is there some? But I mean, like, if he had the mob back in his vineyard, why would he need the sister who says that 10 million was like part of her last? I'm not sure. Oh, Kamisha says I do like the storyline. They normally take years to give us a warm. Wait a minute, to give us a. Okay, Kamisha, I can't read this. I said I do like the storyline. They normally take years to give us something quicker? I'm not
Hmm.
sure. Okay.
Yeah,
But,
but yeah, the storyline. You said what secrets are in our family? That's you saying that. But
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
we get mhm.
what I'm saying is that um, it do take time to develop as the series go on. Pilots tend to be at times rough. You throwing a lot of stuff in the pilot. Obviously, we have to ask ourselves, why is the father borrowing so much money? If they're affluent, why is he borrowing so much money? You know, and
Right. That
leaving all this debt behind, for his family.
right. Right. That's a very good point. You know something I just thought about as we wrap up? I never heard any mention of, because at some point they were trying to figure out to get the 10 million. And I think they came up with 5 by selling various things. I never heard mention exactly how much the father, the patriarch, was insured for. A million, 2
I never heard
million,
anything about it. What they
nothing.
did
What, you know?
they, they did the will reading, but I didn't hear anything about any kind of insurances or any kind of policies of that nature. I didn't hear it.
Right, right, right. Yeah, and it's just a thought. I mean, it's like, it's a story. We're not going to get everything in it, but I was just thinking about in real life when somebody passes away, somebody wealthy, and all of us, of course, should have some type of life insurance policy. But you would think somebody as wealthy as he was that had basically at least 2 business entities that we know of, because he's also had a medical practice as well as that vineyard. You would think that there'd be, couple 2-3 million dollars that he's insured for his life, right?
Right, right. And then Dana,
I'm thinking, maybe
the
not.
Dana,
You know.
yeah, Dana, of course, one of the sons. He's the CFO, and he handles all the finances. He's like, listen, if I didn't know about this, obviously Dad was cooking the books. Which of course that happens all the time in business. People cooking books and things of that nature. So if he didn't know about,
Uh-huh. Maybe he
if he, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, no, you go ahead. You go ahead. I've got this
No,
thought. I'll share it when you're finished. Go ahead.
I'm saying because if he didn't know about the loan to Melanie for $10 million, then he didn't know about the money with these dudes on the call at the end when they were talking to August about we want our payments same time, same place. Now, how the hell does she know what place and what time? She wasn't doing this. Her father
Right.
was doing this. You know what I mean?
Right. That's what I was thinking when they called. That's why I said, like, that's kind of weird. It's just that part was a little bit over the top for me.
Hey,
It was
Aubrey.
just a little. Yeah. So we're wrapping this up, and what I wanted to say was, I think I enjoyed the show. Ultimately, like let's give our final takeaway. So you go first,
Okay, my
Alex.
final
Hmm.
takeaway. I agree with Kamisha. I kind of like where the storyline's going. They didn't wait forever to kind of throw us some wrenches and let us know about turmoils and potential things going on. Of course, there's going to be sibling rivalry because Dana and August, fighting for control of the company, because he wanted to be president and not CFO, and father kept him in that position. So, but overall, I had a good feeling about it. I got to see a few more episodes to see how the storyline develops. You know what? You know what my problem is, Aubrey. I got to pull myself as a storytelling filmmaker. I got to pull myself out of it and just try to learn to be a fan.
Yeah,
Again,
that's what I want to see you do, because I don't think you can. It's like seeing somebody with a goiter. If you're a doctor, you can't just sit around and keep looking at their neck and saying, "Oh my God, they've got a goiter." You just gotta, okay, you just gotta, right. You just gotta kind of go with it, you just gotta kind of go with it and just relax. Just relax into it. Just
right,
relax
right,
into it. That's all I want you to do, because I think that I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised if you just relax and go with it. What I enjoyed, and I have to say this too, as we're closing out, I really enjoyed, as a female. I really enjoyed the outfits, the wardrobe, the hair and makeup. I mean, some things that maybe some people take for granted, but I've watched family dramas. What is it? Knots Landing. What was the other one? Dynasty, over the years, and
Dallas.
Dallas. Yeah, Dallas. We've all enjoyed those, right? But one of the things about it is that I've noticed that sometimes it's a little more difficult to find makeup artists and hairstylists to style for Black women and women of color, melanated people. So I'm seeing now that things have come up to speed. these women look great. The men look great. They were handsome. The women were beautiful. You had women of all different ages. I would like to see more men on the, more men in this series. Even
They're
older
coming.
men.
They're
Yeah,
coming.
okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. And that's good. That's good. And so we're going to wrap things up because we know that this is the new season for Married at First Sight, and that is a new series, not a new series, but a series, the new season 14 that I'm covering. So come on back over here to Actually Aubrey for those reviews and recaps. And Alex, is there anything you want to share with our audience about what you're doing right now?
Yo, I just want to say we got the Married at First Sight. We also have the big Ready to Love reunion that's starting on Friday.
That's
Um,
right. That's right.
and
We got the
and
reunion.
and it's gonna be two parts to that. I hope they keep it at two parts and don't make it three. Please keep it at two. Um,
I think so. I think it'll just be two parts. It'll be just two parts and it'll be good.
yeah, but I want to take some time. I want to thank Kamisha for coming on. I want to thank Kia Simone. I see her there stopping in to show some love, so I want to
We
thank
also
them.
had we also had Misha Allen in too. I don't know if you
Yeah.
caught her. She was here earlier.
Oh, I must have blinked. Hey, Misha, thank you for coming in. So I must have blinked. Sorry, Misha. But yeah, so yeah, I just want to. Oh, there it is. Okay, I got you. So I just want to thank everybody for coming and supporting the Actually Aubrey channel and the podcast and everything. And catch us when we coming back. Is it Sunday?
Sunday, we're coming back. If you're available, we're coming back Sunday at 4 o'clock.
All right. I look forward to that. I love you all, and we'll see you on Sunday.
All right, guys, we're out.